So I was doom scrolling on Instagram the other day and I saw this guy talking about this topic. So I kind of just want to chat about it today and kind of give you my side of everything. As someone who is more on the quiet side of the spectrum, if not more, I get random hate from random people that I've interacted with. I'll give you the basic rundown of who I am as a person. I'd say with a first initial interaction with me, I kind of come off as very spacey, dreamy, aloof, and my head is just in the clouds quite a bit. And I have a tendency to dissociate a lot, and that's just kind of what I do. I'm not a super sociable person, or I'm not that extroverted. However, I don't have a problem with making friends, and I have more friends than I can meet the expectations of sometimes. What I've learned is that I'm a hard person to read, and it just bothers a lot of people. If I'm not wearing a mask, people can't understand how I'm feeling, and it just bothers them quite a bit. And that's just the reality of things. And maybe, I don't know, maybe they should stop trying to read me all the time, but it is what it is. And people just need to like kind of understand who you are as a person. And I try and explain that to people, but they don't always understand. It has caused me quite a bit of problems in like relationships, friends, and workplaces. Um, it hasn't really caused me problems in my family, which is quite good because we're all kind of the same way in some kind of sense, or at least we just understand each other. But I'm just going to start off with how it's kind of, caused me problems in relationships and dating and stuff like that. And a lot of the time when I'm in a relationship, people generally think I'm upset or there's something on my mind that I need to speak of and something along those lines. And sometimes that can be true that I might be upset. But most of the time, I'm not. I'm kind of just hanging out and I'm just breathing because that's kind of what I want to do. I want to think to myself. I like reflecting inward quite a lot, honestly. That's just kind of always who I've been. I've always been either paying attention and observing the crowd or just reflecting inward quite a bit. And that's just what I want to do. I don't always want to wear a mask when I'm in a relationship. And I think that's why I struggle with relationships quite a bit because I feel like I have to perform all the time and it generally just gets really exhausting. And um, I'm not someone who feels excitement that easily either. So when we're doing something with whomever I'm seeing at the time, if I don't come off a certain way, it just rubs them the wrong way and they take it personally, which wasn't even my intention to begin with. Then it can spark up an argument or they just get upset and it kind of just drives me up a wall when it keeps happening all the time because I feel like I have to always just keep up with this performance or I have to wear a mask all the time. And then I just find relationships quite exhausting and I don't really like being in them half the time. I don't have a problem with being in a relationship, but most of the time I'd rather just be alone because that's when I have the most peace and solitude. I can do whatever I want when I want. I don't have to perform, etc. Another part is that I am not big on words of affirmation. It's just not my thing. I'm not always a big talker. I just I'll speak when I feel like I need to speak about something, but most of the time I am in my head again, self-reflecting, thinking about ideas, thinking about videos, thinking about content, thinking about art, music, stuff like that. Just things I like to do. And I'm kind of obsessed about it, so I'm generally not thinking about people most of the time. The reason words of affirmation is not really my thing is because if your words aren't backed by action, I don't really care about your words usually. They just kind of mean nothing to me at that point if you don't really have it backed by anything and it's just a bunch of fake facade crap that I don't want to deal with. And people who I have a tendency to like, I don't know, date, love words of affirmation, or at least my current girlfriend does. And I had to learn to use my words more and just, just so they can be appreciated and stuff like that. And it doesn't really help that I'm a pretty monotone person and I don't have a lot of voice inflections. I just live in my head and it just bugs a lot of people. And I truly give off that Gen Z stare. So that doesn't help either. I'll just kind of give an example since I haven't given one. And in my current relationship, my girlfriend has a tendency to ask if I'm good. And the first time, it doesn't really bother me. However, sometimes she'll keep asking it sometimes. And it just annoys the hell out of me if you keep asking it. Because the first time I'm like, yeah, I'm great, I'm fine, like there's no problem here. But if you keep asking it, I'm just going to get annoyed because I feel like I have to be forced to change my face or tone of voice or be more excited or whatever it is all the time. And I don't really want to do that. I could go on with other people I've dated or like situationships or like hinge dates or whatever, but I'll kind of just not do that because that'll be a long video, maybe in a different video. So now I'm going to kind of talk about my friends. This hasn't caused me necessarily problems, but when it comes to friends, they kind of learn that I love to be alone a lot of the time. and I like hermiting because I don't know, they realize I just don't really want to hang out that much all the time, even though that's been changing more as I've been getting more into the music scene, and that's more of a must that I have to do. But even in group settings, that's when I'm like most quiet because I'm honestly best with like one-on-one conversations because that's when you actually get to like, get to know someone compared to being in a group with everyone. Like in a group, I feel like everyone kind of goes and does their own thing. They go to their own corner or they go into their own like I guess not necessarily tribe, but their own kind of friend group. And I kind of just sit there sometimes and just think to myself, and I kind of just stare off in space, and I look like a fucking goldfish or something. And I think it kind of comes off as standoffish. And like I said, it's not necessarily my intention, but that's just the reality of things. And I just don't think I'm that approachable because people are trying to read me from afar and they just can't. And it's not really my problem, I would say. Well, I guess it is my problem, but I don't want it to be my problem. But like I said, this isn't like necessarily a problem that I've like really dealt with. Like I haven't had anyone like be angry at me or anything along those lines. I think they just kind of have to get to know me when it comes for friend situations. But the biggest problems I had was when I was like in my day jobs or just other jobs I've worked before, because I guess I just have a tendency to piss off my managers a lot for some reason. These people just could not read me for one bit. And I mean, I don't blame them, but I don't know why they're like lashing out at me or like projecting their own insecurities onto me. Like the first time I got a corporate job, I believe I was like 21 or 22. I had this manager say that I wasn't able to focus and that I was stupid or something along those lines. Kind of been a long time, but I was in car sales and people in car sales are just so crazy. This man had like a stick up his ass the entire workday and just wanted to be working for 8 hours, 10 hours a day, which is definitely not doable for most people. And I don't think he could understand that. And I think it's just a crazy thing to say, something like that to your coworker. But I believe he had other troubles outside of work because it doesn't seem like he had a lot of friends and that work was like his only thing that he had in life. Like, how about talking? Like, maybe I would listen if you talked about like things that are important and maybe I'll listen. But generally, it wasn't even like that great advice. And I was like, this is just basic, stuff, red pill stuff. And I was like, you need to relax a little bit. And that's kind of when I knew the corporate world was not for me. Personally, I don't have trouble focusing. I just like working on things that I enjoy working on. I just want my work to have purpose, and my dreams are bigger than I can comprehend most of the time and even try to accomplish. It feels like a double edged sword with being in like this daydream and like fantasy land. However, I'm trying to actually make those dreams a reality, and it is quite difficult and it is going to require a lot of work, but I enjoy doing this stuff, so it's not that big of a deal to me. And then I'm going to talk about the last job I got laid off at. And I knew my manager did not like me, even though he's the one who hired me, which is kind of funny. Maybe I just came off very, very like salesy when I first interviewed with him, which is probably something that I did just to get the job because I know how to do that. But it's not necessarily who I am all the time. And I knew I got laid off because of the reasons that he didn't like me because my metrics were not bad and I was doing better than like 75% of people around me, maybe even more. He just wanted a bootlicker who just follows rules all the time and doesn't question anything. And that's just not me. So I don't know, screw him, honestly. But I remember that one time he told me I was going to make six figures and I didn't show off as much excitement as he was hoping, probably. I was just like nonchalant saying that's cool. And like I was doing my job great, which I was. I mean, if I was making six figures with my sales job, I would think that I'd be doing pretty good. But he just did not like that because I did not show off as much excitement as he would have liked, I think. And I do like money, don't get me wrong, but money isn't my like most motivating factor and it isn't my life. Money's like more of an energy kind of thing, I guess you could say. And he was kind of trying to treat the job like Wolf of Wall Street. And I was like, relax, dude. We're in a corporate setting in a call center. It's not that big of a deal. We're not trading stocks or whatever. I've actually never seen Wolf of Wall Street, so I have no idea what he's really talking about. But I don't know. The thing is, though, he would never tell me that he had problems with me. He was just one of those managers that would just talk behind, your back all the time. And I just noticed it with other people in the call center, and I definitely knew he was talking crap about me because if he's doing it to the other people, he's definitely doing it about me because I already know he doesn't like me. I don't know. Some other coworker that I was talking to, she told me that he was probably intimidated by me, which I don't really know what that means in some kind of sense. It's not like I was trying to take his job or what, but I don't know, maybe I just fucking mogged him and he didn't like that. But anyways, guys, thanks to the creator who made this video, or not necessarily made this video, but gave me the idea to make this video so I could put my spin on things. Those are just some experiences I've dealt with as being a quiet person. Even though I'm not necessarily a quiet person, I just have to be comfortable with you to like know how weird I can be around you, because I know I'm definitely freaking weird. But anyways, guys, let me know if you had any of experiences like this, or put your thing or your spin on things in the comments, and I would love to kind of chat a little bit and respond to them, because I'm a small channel and I can do that. So, but anyways, guys, check out the description if you'd like to support me, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.